you wouldn't look like you're one of the more high-powered lawyers in the state of Florida.
The general perception is lawyers are bad. They take all the money. People don't want to go to court. They're scared of that, the judicial system or hiring lawyers. I wanted to do next step claim consultants, because a lot of the industry is not necessarily it's not litigation all the time. It's appraisal, it's mediation, it's
managing that process.
And what we do is just help homeowners and business owners that have been wrongfully denied or underpaid on insurance claims.
Having a beer with Fred is really about getting to people's passion and what makes them tick. Having a beer and having honest, frank, clear conversation that inspires our audience is what it's about. Here we are having a beer with Fred.
Hey, Fred.
Here's my new friend, Grant, who we just met 2 or 3 weeks ago. We're at Sea Dog, Treasure Island. And, what's amazing is we're in Florida, and you wouldn't look like you're one of the more high-powered lawyers in the state of Florida, but it's true, right?
I mean, you're so flattering, Fred. I mean, Scott's always got all the answers. I love it.
So give me your full name and where you're from.
My name is Grant Kraft. I'm originally from outside of Philadelphia and moved down to Stetson, Gulfport, Florida, where I graduated from law school and met my awesome wife and started a family. And
what year was that? What year was that?
I was in, oh man, you're making me go back. I moved down here in 2006, graduated in 2009, and that's when I passed the bar and got to work.
And you now have a successful law firm. What do you call the law firm?
My law firm is Kraft Legal, and what we do is just help homeowners and business owners that have been wrongfully denied or underpaid on insurance claims.
Yeah.
Or just have, want to get a second look, what they've been
doing. So really you focus on business?
Yeah, condo associations, retail, strip centers, and everyday Floridians, insured.
You started the firm yourself?
I did, yeah. I started the firm in 2018. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And
2016,
actually.
16, yes.
Yeah, so
it's crazy when you started it alone?
I did, yeah.
This show is about entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Having a beer with Fred is about relaxing, enjoying life. We're talking about entrepreneurship. And you are an entrepreneur. Even though you're a lawyer, from my conversations with you right now, you run it like a business, and you're not you get your hand on the pulse, but you're not in the courtroom every day.
That's right. I mean, a lot of what I do now is, day-to-day quality control, staying up on all the law, internally teaching my staff and attorneys. We have about 15 attorneys now. What we see in the industry and how to, be the best and make sure that everything's getting done the way that it should.
To me, having had a lot of worked with a lot of lawyers over the years, over 40 years in business, and kind of when I started talking to you, it struck me unique that you as an individual actually opened up the business yourself, not really looking.
Yeah, I think partners are for dancing. I don't like, having to consult with anyone, obviously, other than the wife on things at home. But, being able to make decisions on the fly, being able to go with your gut, take risks,
you did it all.
Have a vision and pursue your vision uninhibited is, I think, really important to, seeing that vision play out the way
you did it. With a lot of lawyers, they'll have 1 or 2 partners when they start,
and
it'll grow to be like
50 blankets. Hundreds. I just I've seen too many things go wrong with partners and partnerships and different visions and being your own man or woman and being able to run life the way that you feel that it should be run, given anything that may be going on personal with industry trends and the business side of things.
I'm 64. You're a lot younger than I am. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll be 42 in September, so I'm 41 now.
And you're sitting in a good position, no debt, and you got a little bit of cash in the bank.
A little bit.
And you got a lot of breathing room. And we've been talking, I got about other opportunities that might be out there in the world. But my only advice to you is be very cautious in the sense and really look at your skill set and understand what your skill set could complement. We've had a few discussions with a few people and doing the research and having some fun. But at the end of the day, having fun, in my opinion, especially at the state you're at now, a lot of my viewers and friends and people that watch this show are either from the Northeast or from other areas. Here we are on a beautiful sunny day in Florida, and you're probably working today a little bit, right?
Oh, we're always working. I don't know an entrepreneur that doesn't work all the time. I mean, we're the only ones that don't get paid vacation. It's more of a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle I love. I get why it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
But back when my wife, going back to your question earlier, we had our first kid, and I was working for somebody, and they're telling you what to do and when to do it. And I always wanted to do the best job, whether it's, obviously for someone else or yourself, made the decision that, going the more entrepreneurial route. I think she said at one point, if you don't leave, that situation, I'm leaving you. I said, damn, that made that easy.
Right.
And having that freedom was, the search for the freedom was scary. Making that leap was scary, but in hindsight, it was the best thing, I ever could have done. And not just for myself, but for all the people we've helped with the firm.
Yeah, now you have what? How many employees, Jeff?
Oh, man, that's a good question from my office manager, but somewhere in the low 70s, I want to say. And yeah, as we've been talking, building a business that also becomes self-managing as other people, take on responsibilities and things, frees you up to do other things. And that's really one of the cool things, that kind of led me to you and Ethan setting up that original. And so as a guy that's accomplished so many things in different sectors, branding, real estate, manufacturing process industries. And so now that my company is, developing into that sort of company that's becoming more self-managed, it frees me up to, try to help people in other areas. And that's what I'm really excited about, because, it's like a shark. If you don't keep swimming, you die. And at the end of the day, that's like so important. So, your advice and explaining as I was looking at different things to try to get into, because I felt, don't want to say bored, because we're definitely not bored, but the idea of trying to accomplish something new, leave a different type of legacy. Fred explained the importance of kind of staying in your lane, working off experience, working off of the things that you've learned through what you've already done. And so we've talked about doing some vertical integration work.
Yeah, we talked about branding. You have your point about whether you brand, do you keep your existing brand or do you bolt on another brand? Do you try to get vertically integrated into a couple other things? Like my advice, and we've talked about this for you, and is really take your expertise and leverage that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, even for craft legal like that. Before I came in, I explained, look, craft legal, people don't like lawyers. Everyone thinks, you get a car accident, any lawyer, okay.
I got a couple lawyers I like. I don't hate all lawyers.
The general perception is lawyers are bad. They take all the money. People don't want to go to court. They're scared of that, the judicial system or hiring lawyers. And so with what we do in helping home and business owners recover fair amount of money on their claims, I'm rebranding the firm to something, and I wanted to do next step claim consultants, because a lot of the industry is not necessarily it's not litigation all the time. It's appraisal, it's mediation, it's
managing that process.
Yeah, so I need a brand that speaks more to the name of what it is that we do. So next step was really what I came up with there, is because homeowners don't think I need a lawyer when they have a loss, but we just want to say that you got to have a next step, got to have something to look forward to.
From my experience, I've had a number of different issues in insurance and in the process, and I had some moments in insurance in which I thought I was covered, and I actually got sued for summary judgment by my own law firm as an offensive move they made against me when they were supposed to protect me. We can talk about that in detail sometime. I had a gun to my head.
I think for the vast majority of Floridians, or even people up with Sandy and all the claims that have happened all throughout the country, people are kind of scared of lawyers for those types of reasons.
But I needed a lawyer. I got lucky to have a good lawyer at that time. If I had more cash, I would have fought it. But I didn't have a lot of cash, and I didn't have a lot of time. Time is another thing you got to have.
Oh, man, it's the only thing we can't control, right? But it's also the only thing we have to sell.
Right. Well, I think it's pretty exciting, and we're going to have more discussions in the future. But I'm very excited to have a beer with you. And it's one of my goals is to have some fun with you. You got this speedboat out front of Sea Dog Treasure Island right now. Someday I'll go for a ride on that. It won't be today, but
I can't wait to get you in there and go rip around a bit. I mean, yeah, we all work for the purpose, and I think, having that balance of, fishing, surfing,
living life. You just said you got
those
that.
things that free you up, give you the creativity to do better when you get back in front of the computer or on the phone and you look to, expand on what you've already done.
So if you were going to do a 30-second commercial for your company, your business, how would you do it right now?
I've never done a commercial, and I told
How would you
I'm not a
explain?
billboard guy.
How would you explain it though?
I would say,
How does somebody get a hold of you or the company?
they would contact us. Our website's www.craftlegal.com. Obviously, the office line, 7.
Spell that craft again so people.
Craft is K-R-A, P as in Paul, F as in Frank, legal.com. And our website, obviously has a lot of good information on it.
I looked at it. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, very.
Very impressive.
Always looking for improvement. Yeah. And so, that's one of the big things too, especially as entrepreneurs, if that's, the angle that this show, markets towards and people that, it attracts. I think that always inviting feedback and consulting with guys like yourself, anybody really,
Not anybody, because there's a lot of bad advice out there.
air the ideas though, talk it out. And for me with my clients, and I'm always asking for feedback from my referral partners. Because I'm not an advertising firm. I never put a billboard.
Boy, listen, we're doing it based on what you've told me.
You cornered me for a beer here. I'm out on the boat, and you're like, you want to do this?
You gotta have fun. You gotta have fun. You're doing okay. I think you're doing very well. At the end of the day, you're and you're a good person. And it's interesting. You grew up with an entrepreneur as a dad, and one of the things I've stated is that historically entrepreneurs grow up in an entrepreneurial family. Sometimes not always the case.
Someone started it.
Yeah.
Be that somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to go there. You got to go there.
Cheers. Good talk, brother.
Thank you, Fred. I really appreciate it.